Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are now tuning in to the Heavy Hitters. Let's get it. Wait a minute. Yo, wait a minute. What's going on, people? What is going on? This is Wednesday night, and this is the final Heavy Hitters episode of the regular season. And it's the first one of the year. I am. I am your host, the sixth man himself, K Styles. To my stage left, as you already know, as the mad scientist, going by Positive Mike tonight. Mad
Absolutely.
Mike.
Praise God.
Sports. Speaking of praise, we got a minister riding with us, as you already know, Mr. Jew Talk Sports. Hey, Jew, I understand there's something different about you today. What you got? It's something different about you. No, bro, you need to turn around and show that number. Show who that jersey is. Do. Bring it up.
There you go.
And we are your heavy hitters. Hey, I'm gonna let y'all know right now. We are the heavy hitters. And our motto always, if you're coming over here and you expect negativity, you can get the fig out. But I want to make one thing clear. Because I know y'all watching. You done played your hand, boy. The war starts now. But onto that, we got 3 special words for the people tonight, as we do every night. And what are those 3 special words?
Oh, yeah.
Real raw cow.
Before you do that, K Styles, I forgot on Sunday.
I love
yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir. The victory bell. We ain't seen it in about a month and a half, so we good. And
That's
today,
before the kids go to sleep.
exactly. They're gonna come down here and bombarding your ass and your stream like, hey, Dad, we heard a bell. What was that? All right, today's roll call, we're gonna kick it off with Mr. Bubba Gump, Joseph Thornton. Can y'all? Wait a minute. I don't think y'all can hear the music. Hold on. Let me cut it up a little bit so y'all can hear that. All right, cool. Now, I'm talking about the people there, what y'all can hear. Y'all can hear it anyway.
Oh, okay.
Nah, but for real, though. Like I said, getting back to this roll call, we got Bubba Gump, Joseph Thornton, Tev Sports and Gaming, Pamela Johnson, Pat Norris, Melvin Emery, Kenneth Lewis. We got Darnell, Mr. Adamsfield, JB, Brian Peoples. We got the Falcon Therapist, Big Ant, ATL Leo, RC Plane Builder, Toxic Falcon, Blizz 818. We got Mr. 58 in the building, Jamarius, King Quest, June Boys, Sonia, Bridget in here, Xavier Littman, Jake,
Bridget is
71,
a troublemaker. I just
Champagne
wanted.
Confessions, Low Ski, Nathan Floyd, and we got the home team in the building. Mr. Blackberry Rex
Black.
is in the building.
Blizzy.
He
Yes,
said
sir.
what I got on his 40. I'm gonna tell him like Smokey. Nothing.
None.
Nothing.
Oh yeah, you got something, all right. No. You gotta remember, you gotta do the crooked eye. Oh yeah, you got something. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get right into the show, man. We're gonna cut this music off in 3, 2. Remember, there's eyes everywhere. What's going on, Mike, man? The eyes is everywhere. Let's just say, I'm going to just let everybody know we finally found out who it was. I'm just going to leave that to you. So, Mike, any news or something you want to kick to these 3 keys?
I want to read something that I thought was interesting. I didn't really get a chance to do it, partly because I was lazy as a mug. So I want to say this, if I can find it.
Of course, Lowski come up here and talk about that Bill Hack.
Oh man.
Can I find it?
Trying to dust it off. Get that dub.
Another one bites the dust. Doom.
All right, it's in the other phone. Hold on, 1 second.
Oh Lord, Mike got 2 phones, one for the plug and one for the lube. But as we all say,
Look,
but
easy access. I gotta get.
right.
No, I think this is gonna be pretty interesting though.
All right, what you got?
So there's a interesting stat that I was looking at when I was Atlanta Falcons. Okay, just listen to these numbers. Just listen to these numbers. These 2 guys on our staff, on our roster, one guy has 139 attempts, 667 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns. The other guy has 186 attempts with 900 yards, 3 touchdowns. So together, that's about what, 1,600? Yeah, about 1,600 yards rushing.
Right.
And we're just talking about those 2 guys. So when you look at this Atlanta Falcons team, I think one of the things that goes unnoticed is that Arthur Smith is one of the most creative minds when it comes down to the running game. Now, everybody likes to say that, Kyle Shanahan is probably number 1 when it comes down to that, but Arthur Smith is slowly kind of letting it be known that he is that guy, man. He's a force to be reckoned with when it comes down to this offense, man. So what do you guys because I put a post on AFN and it was mostly about the kick return, whether or not we should start to kind of find a way to get Cordero Patterson away from that particular position and look for a guy in the draft and just use him primarily as a running back. So what do you guys think about how the Atlanta Falcons should do and what they should do, how they should address it in the offseason as far as Cordero Patterson is concerned?
We gotta let the minister kick this one off right here. What you got on that, Jew?
Um, to be honest, I don't know. Can Avery Williams return kicks? I think he can. If he can,
Yeah.
I mean, put Avery Williams back there. I know they put CP back there because he wanted to break the record. Now that he has the record, unless it's like a key point in the game where it's like we need a clutch kickoff return, I think you go away from Cordell Patterson unless he just demands on doing it. I'm a firm believer in, as a coach, you kind of listen to your players. So if Cordell Patterson still wants to be back there, I'm not gonna, not allow him to do it. If that's what something that he wants to do, I think you need to let him do it. But I mean, Avery Williams has shown this year that he's one of the better punt returners and kickoff returners. He almost broke a couple this season. So I mean, I think Avery Williams is the guy. But in certain situations, I also think that CP, like in that Bears game, that kickoff return for that touchdown, like swung the momentum in our favor. So I really think at this point, Avery Williams probably can take it over primarily because mainly Avery Williams is a special teams player. The only reason they moved him to running back is because we had a lot of depth at corner. And then they wanted to be able to use his skill set as far as catching the ball out of the backfield and things of that nature. So I think Avery Williams should be the primary punt returner and kickoff returner, but I'm sure at times, even next season, uh we'll see Cordell Patterson still doing kickoffs at times when he asks to be back there. But I believe that as the years, wane for CP, you want to take as much off his plate as possible, which we've seen, with Algier. Like he pretty much took a lot of the weight off of CP, especially in the second half of this season. I mean, like I talked about in our post game show last week on Sunday, like Algier basically took the bull by the horns. So at this point, I would say just let Avery Williams take it over, over special teams.
Whew. Um, Go ahead, Kim. You about to say something?
Well, when it come down to that, the main thing we have to think about with Cordero Patterson is he's not a spring chicken. Um, you want his effectiveness when it's not on his shoulders. So as far as bringing in a guy strictly for return game, like Drew said, you got Avery Williams there. He's a pretty good returner. I will agree on that statement right there. Um, but essentially, when it comes down to is you're essentially going to have to draft a guy to kind of bring that element as far as what Cordero Patterson is. And it's going to be interesting to see how they attack that. And I don't know why there's an echo going on right here, boy. I feel like I'm in a Twilight movie right now because, like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Is it really bad? Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Um, yeah, I think the Dumbo Alliance. I think they done goddamn hacked our shit.
Yeah, cause just bear with us because I have no idea. We've tried pretty much
Mm-hmm.
everything. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Hold on. Let's see. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put some.
Put some pimpin' in it. So, yeah, that's all I got to say on that, man.
Yeah, I honestly think the Falcons should just go ahead and focus on uh, just bringing in a younger guy who can come in and be that returner. Now, we could still have Cordero Patterson in key situations where we need to score, like he did uh, early this year, not too long ago. I think it was like 3-4 weeks ago, about 3-4 weeks ago, where he came in, spelled Avery Williams, and You know, he tied. I think he broke the record, but he came in, broke the record, and you know, got it. But for the most part, I think you just go younger, man. Cordero needs to be a guy that need to focus on a couple of positions at this point in time. And I know a lot of people were saying, he needs to be returner, but he's been doing that for the most part. He's better when he is uh, a multiplicity player, as K Styles said, multiplicity player, and he can catch the ball out of backfield, playing the slide, the outside, run the ball. Like that's what we need him to focus on, so we can have many dimensions to our offense rather than just one player that does everything. Because um, I really believe that they're going to go into the draft and get a young guy, and I could quite possibly see Avery Williams kind of getting more snaps and more opportunity next year.
And like I said, what we saw this past Sunday with Cordero passing, that's exactly how the Falcons should be using him. Not necessarily overworking him as a running back, but just make him a X factor. Get him involved in the passing game. You can run some plays with him, but like I said, you're not overburdening him with running the ball 15 times a game. Give him 9 rushes, give him about 6 catches. Give him about 15 touches. Um, like you said, actually a guy this draft that I particularly looked at. We're gonna say that for another time. That actually is another Thunder Lightning idea, but he's not so damn expensive. But like I said, we'll say that for later on.
Yeah, K Style got some gem for us. I see.
So that's everything right there as far as that.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Falcons are making a few. They're making a few deals. I mean, they're signing a few guys, but like these guys are for the future. I don't necessarily think these guys are going to be, um, some players that they're gonna play a lot next year. I think sometimes you sign these guys to like future contracts. So next year, when training camp rolls around, these guys will be able to, you'll have bodies to be able to compete.
Hmm. But yeah, like I said, like I said, a guy in the draft like a Eric Gary, that right there is a necessity piece right there. Um, let's go ahead and get into these 3 keys, man. Let's go ahead and get into these 3 keys, man. And as we already know, season final game of the season. Can we really call this a revenge game? Um, as we already know, the storyline of this is what if, and it's unfortunately, but like you said, the Falcons ain't playing for no playoff position. They playing for pride against a Tampa Bay team that just won the division. As you already know, they sucking off Tom Brady as usual. And yes, I
Oh,
heard Jerome Boger ain't reffing this game, so I think I may have heard that part.
hallelujah, Jesus, hallelujah.
So in today's festivities, we are going to let Mad Mike Sports run point today on these keys.
Damn, y'all got me being Steph today. Woo, Jesus Christ, I'm not ready for this. Uh, well, since it's my turn, K Style, get the graphic. So, as you guys can see, it says IO to the rescue. All right. So, the reason why this is a key, I saw earlier this week where Dean Pease, I believe it was Dean Pease, but I saw a quote on Twitter where it was stating that IO kind of lined up as strong safety. I thought that was really interesting for the most part because if you remember a few episodes back that I stated that I needed to see something from Jalen Hawkins and Richie Grant. I thought they were I thought they were okay, but we need somebody to make an impact in a positive way. And there's been way too many opportunities, where way too many plays where Richie Grant is just all over the damn place. He's flipping over himself, he missing tackles, dropping the interceptions. Jalen Hawkins is he's just always there when it's too late. It's always 2 seconds too late, bro. Didn't I tell you to put your shoes on a whole 2 minutes ago? Oh yeah, oh my bad. Yeah, you did say that. That's Jalen. That's Jalen Hawkins. All right, he's that hard headed child. You got to tell 4 times in a row. I need you there a minute before the event happens. And I think Isaiah Oliver in this game, we're going to see whether or not he's going to be the future safety for the Atlanta Falcons. I believe they're going to re-sign Isaiah Oliver. I think he's going to be back. I see no reason why he won't be back. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how the safeties, if there's going to be a rotation where we can put Richie Grant more close to the line, or we can put Jalen Hawkins to the line. Because I know Jalen Hawkins is a physical safety. He likes to hit. So maybe he can play that Keanu Neal role where he's basically up around the line of scrimmage, and how Tampa Bay uses him as an extra linebacker to be physical and rundowns. I think that's something that we can do with Jalen Hawkins. But Io is a guy, like, for whatever reason, man, especially last game, he was all over the place. So in this game, especially when you got a guy like Mike Evans who was doing his thing, man. I think he had like 2-3 touchdowns last week, and it was on deep passes. I want to see what IO can do because I think they're going to press that. I think Tampa Bay is definitely going to take those shots. They're going to try to take a deep shot. So I want to see what Jalen Hawkins does, but I want to see if they're going to be looking for Isaiah Oliver to be the future strong safety for the Atlanta Falcons. So the key to this game is IO. IO, please help bring this safety tandem together. I think he could be the glue to this safety group. He can be, one of those third wheels and rotating the safety and, take responsibility, so much responsibility and pressure away from Richie Grant. Because sometimes I think Richie Grant be pressing and he's not used to certain things. So IO comes today to alleviate all that pressure that these guys are currently playing under.
You got anything on that, Jew?
Yeah, I mean, I think Isaiah Oliver, like Mike said, he's one of the keys to the secondary. And as he was mentioning, like with the three safeties, I would try to keep all of those guys because I think Jalen Hawkins, I think, is still under a rookie contract. I know Richie Grant is still under a rookie deal. So I don't know how many years Jalen Hawkins has under his rookie deal. I think he might be like in his third year. So he still has, I think, like a year or two left. So I would keep all three of those guys and rotate them. As we know in the NFL, just like with pass rushers, you can have never have enough cover guys, and you can kind of use all three of those guys are interchangeable when I look at them. As far as all of them are physical, all of them can tackle. You can play all of them in the box or move them or blitz them. So I think having all three of those guys, they're interchangeable. So I definitely think that they should keep all three of them. I hope they resign Isaiah Oliver. I can't see Isaiah Oliver walking in free agency just because Dean Pease loves him. Like that's his like favorite, guy, because he can use him in the slot, because he can do a lot of different things with Isaiah Oliver. So I definitely think that he'll come back. The real question is going to be how much they're going to, bring him back for, like how many years. Is it going to be like a 3-year deal? Because, he came off of the injury. But good news is, to me, he's looking strong since he's been back, looks healthy. So I don't see any reason why they wouldn't re-sign him. And one thing I love about Isaiah Oliver is he's great at tackling. You can never have enough tacklers, and he doesn't miss tackles. That's what I love about Isaiah Oliver. He's a sure tackler. If you can say anything, I don't care about so much of coverage, but as far as if it's a one-on-one tackle, he's going to make it. He doesn't whiff on tackles, and that's something that we've seen with Richie Grant. We've seen with Hawkins, where Isaiah Oliver, he understands angles, and usually he takes the right angle, the right path to the ball carrier. So that's one of the main reasons why Dean Pease loves to blitz Isaiah Oliver, because he's a solid tackler. He knows if I blitz him, he's not going to miss, and that's what you need as a safety. So I definitely think Isaiah Oliver is one of the keys to the defense because of his ability to be interchangeable, and you can move him around. As I always talk about, like that chess piece, he's a guy that can move all over the chessboard because he can do a lot of different things. So I like the secondary, period. To me, the secondary is the strongest part of this defense, period. So, and I said that coming into the season. So I really think that my main issue, you guys know I've been harping on this, is the front seven. I'm not worried about the secondary. To me, the secondary is kind of got it together for the most part. Other than injuries, that's really what's kind of plagued the secondary, is the injuries. So I definitely think Isaiah Oliver is definitely one of the keys to the game, due to Casey Hayward being injured. Because, in that first game, Casey Hayward, I think that was week 2, he played really well against Tampa. So the number 2 corner is going to get targeted in this game. So hopefully they ready. Because whoever's opposite of AJ Terrell is going to be getting all of the targets thrown at them.
And definitely want y'all to go ahead and, like I said, go ahead, share, hit that like button for this, man. Show each other some love out here, man. Because at the end of the day, shoot, we all here. So, I like that assessment, Jew. I want y'all to put some fire in the chat for both of them. Want to see some fire. That's why I said I see some fire. But yeah, like I said, Isaiah Oliver, he brings that something. He had that something, that mentality that Dean Pease, like you said, that's why Dean Pease trusted him enough to bring him back and let him do his thing. But we already know he was on a 1-year deal here, so we gonna find out what they really gonna do with it. But we're gonna go ahead and go to the second key tonight. And I'm gonna go with the second key for tonight. So K-Styles, what? Get the graphic. Rumble, young man, rumble. You said what?
We need to get you a ventriloquist. How the hell? I can't never say that.
Ventriloquist?
Yeah. Yeah.
K-Styles, get the graphic. Young man rumble. And it's kind of crazy because Mike kind of kicked off the night show talking about as far as the rushing attack for the Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons have ran the ball for over 2,500 yards this year. Yeah. Yeah, that is literally crazy. It caught me off guard. I didn't know they ran for that many. I knew it was close to the 2,000s, but I didn't know they was on pace for 3,000. But like I said, young man rumble, young man rumble. This goes to two guys, Tyler Algier and Desmond Ritter. Like I said, you Algier needs 100 yards to eclipse 1,000. And as we look at this game here, this game is on the mindset of a get back game. What's better way to get back than running the damn ball? Everybody looking like what? 2,500 yards. Y'all don't believe me, do you? I don't think they believe me. I don't think they believe me. Hold on, I got my phone out here, so I'm gonna let y'all know what I'm reading right here.
Yeah, he ain't doing extracurricular activities. Okay.
No, the
I was
Atlanta
about to say,
Falcons are
hey,
second in the
Sal.
league in attempts, third in rush yards, eighth in touchdowns, and fifth in the league in yards per attempt. So we see what the mindset of this team is. Like I said, if you're expecting this team to take the next step, they needed somebody to lean on. And Tyler Algier has definitely been that guy to lean on. The offensive line, like you said, led by Pro Bowler Chris Lindstrom. Got Caleb McGarry having a hell of a year. Drew Dahlman still having issues at center. Matt Hennessy looked good at left guard, so it's very interesting how this offseason is gonna play because we've seen 2 games of Matt Hennessy at left guard and he's played very well. Now, for this Tampa Bay defense, run that motherfucker till you can't run it no more. Let me repeat that again. Run that motherfucker till you can't run it no more. Because Tampa Bay is already going to be afraid of that rushing attack anyway. Desmond Ritter, like I said, this is a perfect opportunity for Desmond Ritter to take advantage of a defense that's going to be hell bent on stopping the run. Hold on, Antonio Holloway said we manifested the Falcons running the damn ball since last year. Now we get pressure. Now we got the pressure on the quarterback. Yeah, sack the damn quarterback. Yeah, that's gonna be the new slogan then. But yeah, run behind Algier. That's your bell cow right now. Control the game for 60 minutes. $1. And we'll be good, man. What y'all think on? I say anyone y'all can give y'all take on that, man. How y'all feel about that?
I'm on mute, y'all. As we know, Tyler Algier, he's like you said, he's the bell cow. Like he's the bell cow. We're a top 3 rushing team. I believe Vita Vea is hurt, and I know Shaq Barrett is hurt. So they banged up on their defensive line. So just run right at them. And what I'm watching for in this game, because you know how we always get on our linebackers and I always talk about having those guys in front of the linebackers. What I want to see in this game is how well their linebackers. So we know Levante David and Devin White are 2 of the better linebackers. But watching this game without their stars up front, how well we run the ball. We already ran the ball the first time when they had Vita Vea. But in this game, I want you guys to pay attention closely to their front 7, watch their linebackers, and see if our linemen are getting to the second level and getting those blocks. And you guys are going to see what I talk about with our linebackers, even with Rashaan Evans, even with Troy Anderson. when you don't have those guys up front that's, can hold up in the middle, and take up those double teams to allow your linebackers to get in the backfield and get tackles for loss. I want you guys to pay attention to Levante David, pay attention to Devin White in this game, because I think we're going to be able to run the ball against them. Everybody pretty much who's played Tampa, they have two of the better inside linebackers in the NFL. But when you don't have those stars in front of them, you don't have the Vita Veas, you don't have the Shaq Barretts and the guys on the front on that defensive line, your linebackers struggle. So in this game, I want you guys to pay close attention to their linebackers and see if they do what they normally do when they have, those great guys up front that's basically doing that dirty work that we talk about. But what I've noticed just watching them, Devin White, Levante David, they're still great linebackers, but they haven't been playing as well this year because of the defensive line and the injuries that they have. So I expect Tyler Algier to have a big game. I expect him to eclipse 1,000 yards. I expect pretty much anybody we put in the backfield. Cordell Patterson, I expect him to be Cordell Patterson, and I expect those guys to go off in this game because they're banged up on a defensive line. But just pay close attention to that, and you guys will see what I talk about it doesn't matter. Like we judged Debo, Deion Jones when he was here. We judged all the linebackers for those guys sometimes not being able to penetrate and get in the backfield. Well, you'll see that, in this game, the Devin White, you'll see Levante David, how those guys are going to struggle, because we know that Chris Lindstrom is a dog. We know that Caleb McGarry knows road graders up front. Those guys have been doing their thing, man. So we're going to definitely try to make this. When you say rumble, young man, rumble, we're going to definitely try to muck this game up. We're not going to get cute with them. We know that running the dang on ball is what we've done all season. So this team, we should have made the shirts. I said put it on the T-shirt, because the Falcons definitely has taken that mantra and ran with it. Like they definitely running the ball and being physical up front. So I don't expect nothing different in this game. I expect the Falcons to do what they always do, which is the identity of this team, be physical.
What you got, Mike? What you got?
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting over a cold, so
Well,
kind of bear with me. But one thing that I'm going to keep an eye on is the fullback position. And I know K-Star probably like, yeah, the fullback position. For the reasons you just stated, is because their interior linemen, are absent. So if we're going to have these big runs, the fullback position, because they're going to send a lot of blitzes to try to overcompensate or compensate for those gaps that's going to be open. So Keith Smith, and then we have Parker Hesse at times. He likes to line up in that fullback position, kind of he plays the little H back, and then he'll motion out to the tight end position. Sometimes he'll stay depending on if it's pistol, or they like to run like different variations of full house. I know people probably don't know what the full house is. That's that man formation they're talking about, that full house play. But yeah, they like to run all different types of formations. So I'm gonna be looking at the fullback position to see if we can get some big runs. Because I have a feeling that, especially with a quarterback being young, and he hasn't really seen the Bucs, they're going to come after him. So they're going to blitz. So I need Keith Smith to really be on his A game. I need Parker Hesse to really be on their A game so we can get some big runs. Because if I'm gonna be selfish. I want to see Tyler Algier break the Falcon rookie rushing record. So I want to see him have at least 150 yards. Like I said, that's just me. And if he's going to do that, I think he's going to have a few big run. So that's what I'm going to be focused on.
And then the one thing we kind of don't realize too, and what a lot of people are not really talking about, as far as the Falcons having over 2,500 rushing yards on the season, which is which, like I said, shot the hell out of everybody. You got to give credit to those wide receivers blocking too. We can talk about Drake London. Well, he ain't got the Jameson Williams speed, or well, you see what Garrett Wilson doing with the Jets. Drake London doing a lot more than what people give him credit for down here in Atlanta, and I think it need Drew spin it around one more time.
They seen it.
Hold on, let me get it out the way. Yeah. There you go. And the reason why I wanted to do that too, like I said, just because I just wanted you to show off the New Jersey, and like I said, you got to put respect on these wide receivers. And like I said, even though we don't have a number 2 wide receiver, the thing about these little guys we got is they are willing to block too. So we got to put some respect on these wide receivers and their blocking ability. Of course, we want to see some more passes being caught. But your team ain't running for 2,500 yards without wide receivers blocking. But the reason why we made a little brouhaha just a second ago, because we're going to key number 3.
You already know K-Styles. K-Styles, get the graphic.
Oh.
There it go right there. Grady. When we was at the game, I love when Dave Archer says, Grady Jarrett, you shall not pass. And then he dropped the hammer. Yeah, man. Grady Jarrett, this is the look. When we say payback game, if I'm Grady Jarrett, I'm gonna be looking just like Watt was looking last week. JJ Watt. If I'm Grady Jarrett, I'm lining up over every offensive lineman for the Buccaneers. On every single play, I'm changing, switching, and to find a weakest link on a offensive line. Right now, we know that I was talking about they banged up in the trenches. They're banged up on both sides. Their offensive line is really, really banged up. They got a lot of third stringers. They just banged up, man. So if I'm Grady Jarrett, I'm taking full advantage. I'm looking every single play, I'm lining up somewhere different. And I'm looking for the weak link. Whoever just got a holding penalty, I'm going to line up over top of him. And I'm looking for that weak link to get after Tom Brady in this game. We know Jerome Boger. We know what happened in that first game. And I've been talking all week, my friends and stuff like that, and I was talking to my brother-in-law, and I was telling him on Sunday that we talked about this game, that game where Jerome Boger called that terrible call. We talked about that weeks ago, where that game in week 2 was like, this could be a game that's going to cost the Falcons later on in the season. And sure enough, that game was one of the games that came back to bite us in the butt. If we actually won that first game, we still would have been in playoff contention last week. So that's why we talk about game of inches and how plays and, flags can change the outcome of a game. In this game, Grady Jarrett is going to be heated, and he's coming for Tom Brady. I don't know if you guys heard, but Tom Brady stated that he didn't want to sit out this game, that he wanted to play the Falcons. So we should have bulletin board material all week. I'm sure Dean Pease, I'm sure public enemy number 1, Tom Brady, his face is posted up in Grady Jarrett's locker room, in his locker. And in this game, Grady Jarrett, I expect him to go crazy in this game. I expect the whole defensive line and defense in general to go crazy, because there's no tomorrow. Like, to be honest, if I'm the Buccaneers, I wouldn't have played Tom Brady, any of the guys that they need to get ready for the playoffs. Them playing is like rubbing it in our face. So those guys are going to take it personal, starting with Grady Jarrett, because he knows that game in week 2 or I think it was week 2 or 3, early in the season. I know it was in the first quarter of the season that that game swung momentum, swung the pendulum, and that's one of the reasons why that the Falcons are outside of the playoffs looking in. So in this game, as you guys know, Tom Brady has been a thorn in the Falcons' side. We haven't ever beaten him, and in this game, it's time for the Falcons to return the favor. It's time for us to send Tom Brady into retirement. So in this game, I expect Grady Jarrett. I expect that defensive line. I expect everybody on this team to take it personal, especially the defense, though. AK, Lorenzo Carter, all of those guys got Grady Jarrett's back in this game. So this is one of those games, like I said, man. Tom Brady in that first game was kicking Grady Jarrett and doing all that crazy stuff. Trust me, Grady Jarrett, look, football players, they don't forget. And Grady Jarrett hasn't forgotten. That's why I put in capital letters when I sent you guys my key to victory. Grady Jarrett. He the guy that I'm watching in this game because I expect Grady to have a big game. And I know he's ticked off. And he should be. When we talked about him being frustrated a couple weeks ago, talking about, the same old, just a different year. This is the game that Grady Jarrett has had highlighted and circled. I know they always talk about, we don't circle certain games and it's about the next game. Well, this opponent, he's been a thorn in Grady Jarrett's side. He's the reason right now that Grady Jarrett doesn't have a Super Bowl ring and he doesn't have a Super Bowl MVP. Because let's be real, if the Falcons win that Super Bowl, arguably Grady Jarrett was going to win the Super Bowl MVP. So Tom Brady has been nothing but a thorn in Grady Jarrett's side. So in this game, I expect Grady Jarrett to do his thing, man. I expect him to go crazy in this game. With that offensive line in shambles, I don't know why Tom Brady wants to play. I don't know why the Buccaneers want to rub it in our face because, to be honest, if I were them, I would be getting ready for the playoffs. I wouldn't be trying to get anybody else hurt because I just mentioned that they're banged up. I know it's about rhythm and stuff like that for Tom Brady, but they're going to be lucky if they don't get somebody knocked out in this game because they're trying to rub it in the Falcons' faces that they won the NFC South. So I would hate to play against somebody that has nothing to lose. The worst thing you could ever do is go up against a team or go up against somebody that has nothing to lose, an animal that's backed into a corner. And that's the Falcons right now. They have nothing to lose in this game and everything to gain as far as getting even with Tom Brady and the Bucs. So in this game, just watch. We talk about big hits and stuff like that. Hey, the Falcons got nothing to lose in this game. So if I'm Tom Brady and I see number 97 coming, I'm just going to go down. I'm not even trying to get tackled. I'm giving myself up in the pocket. Forget it.
I'm sitting there laughing at this comment. He said, "How much I want to bet there's a warrant out for Grady Jarrett's arrest about 4:30."
Wow.
Hey, you know when they say I'm gonna get flagged anyway, so I'm gonna give you something to throw a roughing the passer flag about. Yeah, this is one of those games, man. I ain't trying to, I don't want to see anything violent happen. I don't want to see anybody get injured. But I'll say like this: Grady Jarrett, he gonna put some stank on it this time. They thought he just wrapped and rolled last time. This time he coming down with body weight on the quarterback.
You're gonna see the first ever Atlanta Falcon Hulk Hogan leg drop on a quarterback. I guarantee you. But yeah, man, I want to hit on that as well too, man. Because like I said, as we already heard, like I said, Grady's frustrations, like I said, it's well warranted. You haven't been winning. He's seen the playoff twice. And literally that was within the first 3 years of his career. Like I said, they took away one of his sacks. And I know he mad about that. So guess what? When you see him, you hit that motherfucker all the way to the end of the time.
It's on site, K-Styles.
It's on site.
Thank
you, Jude. Thank you, Jude. Thank you, Jude. You did it right. You said it right. It's on site. But here's the thing, though. And we keep hearing about this thing about tanking and they need to lose this game for draft position. Why the hell would you want your team to tank and one of your most notable players is frustrated about losing? I just want to see if I can make some sense into that because that damn show didn't make no sense to me. Let's see. Yeah, Jew said that yeah, Tom Brady's gonna play. Um let's see. Oh Lord. It would be a longest yard reference in here. I knew one of them was gonna become I think I made him shit himself. But I'm glad we got the three keys out the way because you got anything else, Mike? You got anything else, Jew?
I'll let Mike get a chance. I don't know if he want to say something about Grady.
You got that Pootie Tang talk? What's going on?
I was about to
But
say he on mute. Maybe not.
yeah. Hey, yeah, Mike, I think it went out. Well, then wait till Mike get back. Let's read a few of these damn comments and get Mike's kind of when he come back. We're gonna read a few comments here, man. Yeah, like Ed said, yeah, it's on site all damn game. Yes. Um, let's see. Red Swarm here said he's excited for the direction of his team. All the so-called procrastinators had us winning 2 games for at most. We way ahead of schedule. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's okay. So Grady Jarrett, right? Grady Jarrett. I'll say this is that I think for the most part when you talk about Grady Jarrett, man, I think he's gonna come in like a just insane. I think you're gonna see a different type of Grady. I don't think you're gonna see the same type of Grady because that's still wearing thin. Uh, that's definitely still on his mind. Them taking the sack away from him. Actually, let's be real. They actually took a win away from the Atlanta Falcons. They stole that game away from the Atlanta Falcons, and they stole momentum from the Atlanta Falcons. So the Atlanta Falcons team, like I think you're going to see those guys go for the. They're gonna go for the throat, man. And I want to see a cheap shot. I want to see them, do one of those Bray Wyatt insecurities to Tom Brady where he just picks him up and throw his ass on through a damn table or something. I need to see that. So I need to see some dirty. I need to see somebody cross the line. I mean, you ain't got but one damn game left, and for the most part, most of you Falcons fans don't give a damn anyway if they win. Y'all would much rather they lose. So this give you even more incentive to do some dumb shit. So sign a guy that really don't mean shit to you, like a Cornell Armstrong, and tell him to just blitz and just hit the hill, just hit Tom Brady below the knees. You know what I'm saying? Just hit him below the knees and make sure that he is hurt. Um, and I'm dead serious about that too. Yeah, hit him below his knees because I'm sick of looking at him. I'm sick of that smirk. I'm sick of the NFL trying to pretend as if we don't see the same patterns over and over. Every week it's the same stuff. They down 21 and magically they end up going on a run to win the game. Like, y'all really think we're not buying it? You really think that we don't know what you guys are doing? Y'all are trying to build this hype train for Tom Brady, so when he get in the playoffs, hopefully he's got that Tom Brady confidence, and then everybody start playing down to him. So like I said, at the end of the day, man, I need to see somebody cross the line, man. I need to see somebody cross the line. I need to see somebody knees taken out of something. I'm so serious about that. Bro, I hate this dude with a passion. If I was a player, I would have been punched. I would have been sucker punched Tom Brady. I would have been sucker punched him. Yeah, I'm preaching. Yeah, I'm on Malcolm X today. The hell with that.
I'm about to say that's not very positive, Mike.
Look, that is positive. Beat his fucking ass. That's
positive for us.
They've been bullying us and cheating us for quite some time. All right, at some point in time, you get tired of getting sucker punched. It's time to hit back. That's positive.
Hey man, shit, you gotta hit a motherfucker sometimes. That's what we do. But yeah, like this comment here says, man, we can't be looking. You cannot lose, and you can't lose your way to winning. And like I said, that is true. Let's see. Somebody else said.
Hold on. Let me say
I think I see what. Hold on. You go ahead and highlight. I'm trying to see if it's the same one that I saw. Yeah.
I just want to say this. It ain't quick. It ain't long. Why people act like Jesus didn't have goons on his squad? Why they act like Martin Luther King didn't have goons on their side? Like they actually fought back. Okay, they didn't just sit there and get punched in the face. Okay, so it is positive to fight back. Okay, you don't have to sit there and get beat up and turn the other cheek every single time. It's okay to defend yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Jet Life here said, I noticed that too. A lot of fans think the Falcons are messing up the future by actually winning games. Yeah, this has been the story that we've been hearing from the goof troops and the coalition of angry angry persons and shit. They mad that they won win these couple games. Nah, bro, damn that. It's about pride. And nobody hates Tom Brady because he wins. They don't like we don't like the shenanigans that come behind all that shit. There's too many shenanigans that go behind it. But I wanna take a moment. It was a comment that I saw today that it was a comment today that brought me to some attention here, and I wanted to get y'all takes on this. And I'm about sick and tired of talking about this as usual, but fuck that. We're gonna address it tonight. Where that? If Desmond, this was an old one. This was an old tweet. So you see the date. So this is old. But the thing about it is, this has been the mindset of the Desmond Ridder thing since he became the starter. He said if he doesn't drastically outplay expectations this season, the Falcons will absolutely be in the quarterback market. They'd be fools not to be one. In this day and age, you need a true top 10 guy to be competitive, doing yourself a disservice if you don't pursue that level of quarterback. And this is very interesting too because it's so ironic that we literally are having the same damn conversation. What you got, Mike?
Do I have permission to not be positive? So,
It's the end of the show, bro. We don't care no more. We got what we need to get.
so the reason why I find that statement again idiotic is because anybody heard this team? It's above Georgia. It's called the Tennessee Titans. They've had a rotating quarterback all season. None of those guys are top 10 quarterbacks. How many games have they won? That's it. That's literally it. That's the reason why that statement is idiotic in itself. Why you need a top 10 quarterback to be competitive. Well, again, I don't know how many times we're going to go back in history, but anybody heard of Trent Dilfer? I don't think he was top 10 anything in the NFL. But they had one of the best running games and they had one of the best defenses ever. So, what are we talking about? This is where we say that it's okay to not like a guy, but just be honest about what your true intentions and feelings are. You don't need a top 10 quarterback to be a contender. And these are facts, my friend. Facts.
I got something I want to play for everybody. This is essentially what that means. Do y'all know? Do y'all want to know what the true meaning of what? And like I said, that tweet was old, but we hearing the same sentiment about this kid, and he's only played 3 games so far. While I'm doing that,
This man unmuted himself while talking. What the heck? How are you gonna mute yourself while talking? K-Style, what?
hey man, I had to talk to myself right quick. I had to make sure I had this right. I had to make sure I had it right. Look, look. This is that crowd.
Oh, you make me feel good.
Because we've been hearing this same Atlanta has been needing a quarterback for damn near 20 years. But the problem is it hasn't really been that big of a rotation.
Okay, you can just look at the playoffs, the NFC playoff picture right now, and most of the teams don't have a top 10 quarterback. Like, is Jalen Hurts a top 10 quarterback? I mean, if you want to say he is now, good luck because he's in the MVP race. Right there, you see where it's Wolf says Brock Purdy, he's not a top 10 quarterback. Will anybody say Kirk Cousins for the Vikings is a top 10 quarterback? Dak Prescott, okay, you might say he's top 10ish. If
Oh Lord.
Daniel Jones of the Giants, these are all playoff teams. The Seattle Seahawks quarterback. I don't think you're gonna say that Geno Smith's the top 10 quarterback. So
Right.
we in the NFCs last time I checked. All of these teams that's in the only teams you can argue as a top 10 quarterback, and he ain't even playing like one anymore, is Tom Brady. And if you want to argue
Right.
Dak Prescott. And to me, both of those guys are inconsistent as well at this point. So it's no guys that's at the top of their game. Aaron Rodgers, they 8-8. They battling still to get in the playoffs, and he probably, arguably, as far as resume, is probably the best quarterback out of all the quarterbacks I named, other than Tom Brady. So or the most accomplished quarterback. So, I mean, with us being in the NFC is wide open because Tom Brady soon to retire. Aaron Rodgers is on the back end of his career. So I don't think anybody's scared of Jalen Hurts. I don't think anybody's scared of Kirk Cousins. I don't think anybody's scared of Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy. So we in good shape.
Just for the somebody that requested for me to play the whole thing, so here you go. This is the mindset of constantly bitching.
Make me feel bad. I want you to make me feel good. I want you to make me feel good. I want you to make me feel good.
That is exactly what it is. That's really what it's all about if you really want to be honest. See, the problem with the statement that we've seen is you only have that type of expectation if it's a guy you didn't want in the first place. AKA moving the goddamn goalpost. Oh Lord, somebody said they were late. Like I said, top quarterbacks that come out of college that's not even a guarantee anyway. And to be honest with you, y'all need to be worried if Mel Kiper Jr. is hyping up a quarterback you like, you need to be worried. What did I say a couple years ago? Who did I say Mel Kiper was gonna hype up?
Zachary Wilson.
Got Zach Wilson out here getting benched for Mike White. Nobody know who the hell Mike White is. Like I said, the guy that everybody really wanted, his running back got more rushing attempts than he do completions.
Damn. Damn, that's it.
Man, the only thing Zach Wilson is good for right now is if you don't give a damn if somebody smash your mom or something like that, that's what Zach Wilson good for right now.
Boy, you stole the words right out of my mouth. He's only good for his mama. That's it.
But let's be real. Like out of the last couple years, the quarterbacks that everybody was raving about, none of them are doing anything. Like Trey Lance, he was another one that everybody hyped up. He got injured this year with the 49ers, but he wasn't playing well. Zach Wilson wasn't playing well. A lot of these guys, we told us it's going to take time to develop. We literally had to sit there and watch Thursday Night Football watching Josh Dobbs instead of seeing the kid that everybody wanted from Georgia. I forget his name now, out of Liberty. He literally couldn't start over Joshua Dobbs. They literally picked up a quarterback off the street before they started their rookie quarterback. So that just goes to show you, like, you got to give these guys time to develop. So to be honest, in this last draft, we arguably got the best quarterback, and we only had to spend a third round pick to get him in Desmond Ridder. So we got to steal.
This is exactly what I'm talking about right here. You said Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Herbert, Lawrence, Tua. Allen was 1 year away from getting traded out of Buffalo. Tua was a year away from getting traded away from Buffalo. Burrow's doing this thing. Justin Herbert, be honest with you, ain't looking too much better neither. Well, statistically wise, he's looking pretty good. So I ain't gonna lie. They're good, but you named a few. Do you know that the NFL quarterbacks that get drafted in the first round on average of 3 to 4 every year? You name 5 of them. Can you name it 20 more? Go ahead.
Well, I want to, you just brought something up, and like I said, we got a couple of guys in our chat um, that are statisticians. Shout out to Abi Reddy and Mr. Rashad. They put a stat in there that's really intriguing to me. Is that we're talking about ever since 2008, there's only been 10 quarterbacks. And we're talking about since 2008, out of 110 quarterbacks, only 10 of those quarterbacks have panned out.
Wait. Hold on. Say that again.
Okay,
Say that
since
again.
2008, and since 2008,
Okay, so
110
that's
quarterbacks that have been drafted. We're not counting the ones that have been. I was about to say undisputed, but that was a whole. We ain't talking about that. But when we talk about undrafted, we're not even talking about undrafted, but 110 quarterbacks that have been drafted. 10 of those guys have actually been something. And we're talking about made the cut.
Cause I'm
top
cause
or at least starting.
I'm trying to see something. Cause let's see. Cause we could talk Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Tua. While you got those, for every Patrick Mahomes, there's going to be 4 or 5 Daniel Joneses. Christian, what was that? Christian Ponders.
It was in the chat. Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen was another one. He how you get drafted? How do you draft a quarterback one year and then come back and draft a quarterback number 1 overall the next year, and the quarterback that you used to replace the quarterback you previously drafted in the first round ain't playing worth shit neither?
They dropping them in the chat. K. Sam Darnold, Tim Couch. Jamarcus
Bruh, they
Russell,
had 2 of them playing for the Carolina Panthers this year.
Baker
Mayfield, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Sam Darnold. And had chat here is talking about why we so against drafting a quarterback in the top 10. Motherfucker, that ain't even a guarantee. That's not a guarantee, because the issue that comes down to it is, and I know this Atlanta Falcon, I ain't gonna say I know this, from what we've seen from this Atlanta Falcon fan base, if you draft a quarterback that high and like you said, with Desmond Ridder, you see the lack of patience they got for a Desmond Ridder. These motherfuckers, boy, let them draft a quarterback in the first round and he doesn't play well. They ain't gonna have no patience. Like I said, Johnny Manziel, Mitchell Trubisky. Like, bro, if we gotta pull this list, like I said, the best teams ain't drafting quarterbacks every year, even if the quarterback ain't top 10. What you got, Mike?
Well, I actually have the list of quarterbacks that these guys, the Cleveland Browns has in the last 10 quarterbacks drafted. So, going to start with this one. Johnny Manziel.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Brandon Whedon.
Oh, Lord.
Colt McCoy.
Oh,
Brady
God.
Quinn.
Oh,
Charlie
no.
Fry. Luke McCown. Spurgeon Wynn. Tim Couch. Eric Zaire. Sorry, Georgia fans. But Keith the Cat. But those are the quarterbacks that the Cleveland Browns have went through to try to find a star, and we still talking about that to this day. They still haven't found the quarterback. It's better to build a team than it is to keep searching for a quarterback every single year. Just build your team. At some point in time, these quarterbacks are going to get it, and when they get it, you're going to already have the foundation for these guys. Most of these guys who are drafted, the problem is they're not bad quarterbacks. Is that the team doesn't have a firm foundation for these guys to succeed, and that's the issue. You got to have a firm foundation. You got to have a solid coaching staff. You got to have solid defense. You got to have a solid running game. You got to have a solid offensive line. That's what happened in Indianapolis that forced um, to retire. Um,
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck
Mm-hmm.
to retire. They
Right.
didn't have a solid foundation, and he was just getting his behind whipped, game after game. So you got to have a solid foundation in order to, have these quarterbacks. Because when it comes down to quarterbacks, man, I always say it's not their inability to do certain things. It's all because you kill their confidence before they even get comfortable.
Ooh, 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 ooh. I got
Yeah.
another list. I got another list. I got all the first round quarterbacks that's been drafted since 2008. Let's go through the list, shall we? This past year, Kenny Pickett. Judge still out on that. Last year, this was supposed to have been the greatest quarterback class since 1983, by the way, from what we was told. Let's see. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Matt Jones. That's 5 quarterbacks. 2020, you had Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love. 2019, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins. 2018, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, Lamar Jackson. 2017, Mitchell Trubisky, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson. 2016, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Paxton Lynch. Hold on, we got some more. 2015, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota. 2014, Blake Bortles, Johnny Manziel, Teddy Bridgewater. 2013, EJ Manuel. 2012, Robert Griffin, Andrew Luck, Ryan Tannehill, Brandon Whedon. 2011, Cam Newton, Jake Locker. Blaine Gabbert, Christian Ponder. 2010, Sam Bradford, Tim Tebow. 2009, Matt Stafford, Mark Sanchez, Josh Freeman.
It's all you depressing me, man. You got to keep going on.
No, I'm going to keep going. 2008, Matt Ryan, Joe Flacco. 2007, Jamarcus Russell, Brady Quinn. 2006, Vince Young, Matt Leinart, Jay Cutler. 2005, Alex Smith, Aaron Rodgers, Jason Campbell. 2004, Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, J.P. Lossman. 2003, Carson Palmer, Byron Leftwich, Kyle Bowler, Rex Grossman. 2002, David Carr, Joey Harrington, Patrick Ramsey. 2001, Michael Vick. And the year Year 2000, Chad Pennington. 1999, Tim Couch, Donovan McNabb, Achilles Smith, Dante Culpepper, Cade McNown. I went back to 1999.
Look, can I say something? All I heard was wah, 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 wah. That's all I heard.
So is it really a guarantee to pick that a first round quarterback is going to be the guy for you? Did y'all hear that list I just said? Did you hear that, Jew?
Yeah, I heard it, man. It was
Did y'all
a
hear
lot more
that?
names of guys that's not no longer in the league than more than guys that are still playing. Half the guys you named, majority of them guys are out of the league.
Look, everybody depressed now.
Man.
Everybody depressed now.
It's your
But
dang on fault.
Hey, he talking about that. If you pick a quarterback in the top 10, you're automatically guaranteed to win. That's what his tone is. I have to tell him, like, bruh, that doesn't mean shit. Most of y'all wanted Justin Fields and say he was the better quarterback, but he can't get 3 wins in fucking damn Chicago. But if we say our quarterback needs pieces, it's an excuse. But if Justin Fields is struggling in Chicago, it's because he doesn't have the pieces. Make your goddamn mind up.
Let me read a couple of points on this. Is that this is bothersome for me is because they be fools not to be. And you need a true top 10 guy to be competitive. Do you hear that? That's where it, for me, this entire statement is not real research. And this is why we say, God, it's idiotic to make these statements because competitive is basically just making the playoff. I don't need a top 10 quarterback to make the playoffs.
The quote unquote GOAT was a 6th round pick.
But that's not even not that right there is not even the worst part of this entire statement. Doing yourself a disservice. And we're literally talking about a team in Cincinnati. Cincinnati. I mean, you can throw them in there. But previously prior to Andy Redhead, Mr. Redhead, and Carson Palmer, like you can throw those guys out. But for the most part, like they've been looking for quarterbacks for years. Cleveland, these guys every year they're looking for quarterbacks, and until one year they decided, all right, let's just build this offensive line, let's build this running game, let's build on this defense, and then they became a playoff team. So it's no fluke that they went by this particular building block and they actually had success. So when they decided that, they wanted a quarterback, the quarterback still wasn't, particularly good, but this is what we talk about. Just get a quarterback. Don't put so much pressure on him to be that guy. And what I mean by pushing pressure on him is that we have organizations that invest heavily in the offense and they forget to build the defense. And this is what the Falcons have done for years. They put so much, they got a quarterback in Matt Ryan, and all they wanted to do was make sure that Matt Ryan got his stats, make sure Julio got the ball, make sure Calvin really got the ball, and they just forgot about the rest of the team. This particular philosophy fails more times than not. Actually, if you want to be real about it, the Rams' philosophy failed. Because what did they do? All they did was go get they traded for everybody else's good players and they put them on their team. The two homegrown guys that they have on that team was Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald. That's literally it. So their philosophy even failed. And we've seen time and time again, just going out spending money on players typically doesn't pan out.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what Had Chad's problem is. He's not gonna feel comfortable until you have a spotlight on that quarterback. It's really what it comes down to. It ain't even about the top 10 quarterback. It's about you want to be like the popular kids. Damn that. I don't care about that. If the Falcons had an opportunity to get one of the best pass rushers in this draft in the first round or a quarterback, I'm going pass rush. Because at the end of the day, regardless of who you have as a quarterback, if you don't have the team built around him, rather it be drafting the right way and picking the right free agents, you essentially going to go right back to where the fuck you trying to get away from.
We have to stop being so quick on judgment. Like on Desmond Ritter, the jury's still out on him. I feel like the
Exactly.
biggest issue is we're quick to judge like this quarterback is not it. Like you said, if they would have did that with Josh Allen, go look at his stats his first year as a rookie. He was like completing 50 some percent of his passes. Everybody was saying he was a bust after his first year, but they gave him time. You got to give these guys time to develop. So right now, we don't know what Desmond Ritter is. I like what I'm seeing. We're seeing him progress each and every week, but we don't really know what he is. But that's the reason why you have this 4 year period to see. Give him the time to see if he's the next franchise guy. We don't know. But if you go in and draft another guy in front of him, like a top 10 guy, then you never will really know what you have. And that's some of the problem we had over the years. And I talked about this with the last regime is we never played the guys like our rookies. One thing I can say about this regime, they're actually playing these guys and giving them time to develop. But if you keep bringing in veterans and you keep bringing in guys in front of these guys, you're just going to stunt their growth. You're not going to see these guys develop. So let's just, as Mike always says, let's just wait and see. Let's stop rushing to judgment. We don't know. Let's stop rushing to judgment. Give these guys time.
Hey, hold on. I got to shout out Jamarius because he got a short out here talking about if they never put on some cleats, they never put on some shoulder pads, they got a PlayStation 5 controller. 9 times out of 10, they talking out the side of their ass. I'm just praising it. I'll make sure y'all go subscribe to that, man. That boy's funny. Go ahead,
Hey,
Mike.
Jamarius. Hey, I want to highlight this real quick. Um, and this goes into my point where I was talking about when you decide to highlight a particular player and a quarterback. This is the reason why the Falcons haven't had a defense in years. The Falcons decided they were going to invest in Matt Ryan instead of build a team around him. I want people to understand what I mean by that. When you say you're going to invest in Matt Ryan, you do what Cleveland did. Cleveland decided that Baker Mayfield was the next coming of Drew Brees, and they put most of their assets on the offensive side of the ball. The draft picks, free agents, they brought everything in to make sure that he gets it. And they didn't add to the defense side. They didn't bring in better coaches. This is what the Falcons did. All they did was put more weapons around Matt Ryan. They didn't put anything on the defense. They didn't spend any money in free agency with the defense. They just said, all right, Matt Ryan is our guy, Julio is our guy. That's all. When you take that approach instead of building the team, this is what you get. One side of the ball always suffers when you put that one guy above the franchise. And I think this is the first time in quite some time. One thing I'll say about I've always respected by the 49ers is that they don't put one player over the franchise. They never put one guy over the franchise. They always, going back always to the 80s, they always invested in both sides of the football. and that's why they've always been consistent. The Steelers, the exact same thing. They never just put one guy. And when they decided that Ben Roethlisberger was that guy for them, that's when you saw the Steelers start to go down. And then they kind of had to, kind of go back and go back to the drawing board and say, all right, we're the Steelers. This trying to air the ball out, spread the ball, and invest in Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown. I think I forget Juju. They had Juju, not our very own Juju, but what's his name? I don't know how the hell you say his name.
Juju Smith. Yeah,
Yeah.
Juju Smith.
Oh, Corvette boy. Corvette boy. Yeah.
They invested heavily in their offense, and that's why you have to see the Steelers go down. So anytime you see an organization puts one particular player over the team, that's when you start to see them struggle. That's what happened to the Patriots. The Patriots started losing because they put Tom Brady over everything. That's why you see Tom Brady now in Tampa Bay, because Bill was like, look, I can't build my defense if we continuously have to give Tom Brady weapons. Tom Brady just need to, deal with what he deals with.
There's one word that we need to say, guys, that we all saying the same exact thing, and that's balance. You got to be balanced, period. If you're not balanced, if the scales are all on defense, a lot of Chicago Bears for all of those years, where all they put all their money on their defense, all of the money in the Atlanta Falcons on the offensive side of the ball, when you get out of balance, that's when things always go haywire.
So let me ask y'all a question. This is gonna be the final question. Now I need to ask this question. I need to ask this guy this question here. As we look at Atlanta Falcon free agency, and everybody, this is a question for y'all too. Because I asked this question because I want to know what the real mentality of people and how they feel about how this team be in 2023. Are you willing to pay the $42 million for Lamar Jackson, or pay the $42 million for Daron Payne, and use it as an example, Jesse Bates? Which would you rather have?
I'd rather poke myself in the eye. I'm not spending all my money on one player. I'm just not doing it. Unless that motherfucker
But the
fly
reason
on the football field,
go ahead.
I'm not doing it.
No. But the reason why I say that is it lets me know the mentality of the person answering the question. Like I said, this is how I see it. If you're talking Daron Payne, Jesse Bates, like I said, we're just using them as an example. You're thinking more so of the long term and the total team building aspect of it. If you're talking Lamar Jackson, to me, you come off as a hypocrite, because the major problem that we've been hearing is that we had too much money tied up into the quarterback position. Now that Fontenot done got the Falcons out of that situation, and you begging and you wanting to go right back into where you just came from, it tells me Matt Ryan's contract was not the problem then. Because like I said, for us, like I said, we appreciate Matt Ryan, everything he done for the Atlanta Falcons. As we already know, that contract was hell to get out of. That was a big ass cap. But the opportunity for this team to build it the right way and not have such a big ass burden on one player is a big advantage for this team in the long run. I'm not putting the Falcons back in that damn situation. Like I said, if you're going to be spending $42 million, I would rather you spend $42 million on a couple players. Whether if it had been an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman, that's fine. That's one thing. You're building the team. I'm not trying to get off by seeing a guy that makes me feel good at the quarterback position. You let Desmond Ridder develop into that. And that is the problem with the casual football fan. We look for saviors and representatives of how we feel at these certain positions, and if they ain't there, now the whole organization is trash. And to be honest with you, I'm sick of it. I don't want to hear nothing about no more quarterbacks. This ain't against Lamar Jackson, the quarterback. This ain't against Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. But I be damned. I repeat, I will be damned if I have to go through the Falcons drafting another quarterback, and then all of a sudden, if that quarterback doesn't damn live up to the expectations year one, now y'all ass is talking about getting another quarterback.
Let me say something real quick, because I don't think people understand. So I'm gonna try to break it down as simplistic as I possibly can. There's nothing wrong with paying players, but paying players comes with a price. Every NFL team has the exact same amount. Now, other organizations have more power. They have better TV contracts. They have their fans actually show up to their stadium. So there are incentives for players to go to certain markets, to go to certain teams. So even if the Atlanta Falcons were to sign a Lamar, would the Falcons would be able to get other players to come and play for peanuts? We don't have a history of winning, and winning cures all frustrations. Winning cures all frustrations. So when you have a team like the Dallas Cowboys, this is the reason why they can get a Dan Quinn to come in and coach for peanuts, because he's not getting paid a lot of money to be the defensive coordinator over there. He could have went to another team and got a bigger paycheck and have been a head coach. But since it's the Dallas Cowboys, it gives him incentive to sit back, wait his turn, and work on some things. So when we talk about signing a Deron Payne, Lamar Jackson, how are the Atlanta Falcons? So this is the question I have for you guys. How are the Atlanta Falcons going to convince a top 10 corner to come play for $10 million for the Atlanta Falcons when we've given Lamar Jackson 80% or at least 50 to 60% of that salary cap? How are you going to convince let's just say, for instance, a Jalen Ramsey to come in and pay for $8 million.
Let me hit this right quick. What big name talent that they got in Baltimore right now, outside of him, that they got in free agency on offense? See, his issue is, like I said, he wants the make me feel good experience. That's this is what he wants. Because the thing about it, you know what? You know what? You know what? No, 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 no. We're not gonna do this. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me?
Okay, let me say this in this Lamar Jackson situation. So we could pay Lamar Jackson. We got the money to do it, but it's just what Mike was just talking about. There's consequences to paying Lamar Jackson. The consequences are if you give him majority of this money, if most of the salary cap, then what's going to end up happening is it's going to put more pressure on Terry Fontenot to hit in the draft because that's where you're gonna have to get the talent. The talent we talking about, and that's what the Ravens have been trying to do. They go on out and drafting wide receivers, the Hollywood Browns that they drafted, the guys that they brought in. If you give him this money, you're gonna have to hit in the draft. You can't have no misses in the draft. Where if you spread this money around like we're talking about, you spread it out where you talked about the Deron Paynes, you talked about Jesse Bates, you talked about the building the team around Desmond Ritter. You could spread that money out, and it puts less pressure on the front office to hit in the draft. You get Lamar Jackson, you can get him, but this is my thing. Okay, what if you get him and he gets hurt? And he's taking up 80% of your salary cap. Then what? That's the issue. That's the real issue. It's a reason that the Ravens are apprehensive about paying him. As much as I'm on the player side about get your money because NFL careers don't last long. You never know. One hit can take you out, take your career. At the end of the day, it's going to put pressure on you to hit in the draft if you go out and give Lamar Jackson this money. So that's the real issue. It's not that we can't win because he could come here, be 100% healthy, and do his thing. And we hit all of the players in the draft. We hit, but the chances of that happening, y'all talked about those quarterbacks. How many times in the draft have we missed on the Takk McKinleys, on the other guys that we call bust? Let's think about it. It's been a lot of other guys. We just talked about quarterbacks, but there's been some guys in the Falcons history that we've missed on in the draft that we like, yeah. The chances of us hitting 100% in the draft are not good.
He says Lamar is a better investment in the long run. Then why the hell we're not paying him no money then? Yeah, see, we're gonna have to wind the show down.
They don't even want him.
Baltimore is doing what we said.
I'm gonna pay a guy $42 million a year for it. Yeah, like I'm gonna pay a guy $40 million for a guy whose franchise he's won an MVP for. Ain't paying him.
They don't even want him.
It may not even the fact they may not want him. The thing is, they probably want him to come down on his money. But the problem is, he's his own agent. He's not taking chump change. And why should he? Why should he take chump change? My thing is, I don't want the Falcons to go down this same damn rabbit hole that everybody complained about them being in for 14 damn years. Actually, to be honest with you, hell, 20 years if you really think about it. Yeah, about
what happens
years.
when you have to pay Drake London? What happens when you have to pay Kyle Pitts? When you sign to Lamar Jackson, you're not going to have the money to do it. And if you do it, like we talked about with Matt Ryan, they paid Julio Jones. They paid all the guys on the offense, but then what happened to our defense? We didn't have any money to pay anybody on defense.
You're gonna Yeah, you're going to have to restructure a lot of contracts, and if you restructure a lot of contracts, you end up exactly where the hell we was at.
Exactly.
And prematurely cut guys. That's the whole thing. Also, you prematurely cut guys
Let,
that you sign contract to, like Robert Alford and Desmond Trufant. A lot of people totally forgot about those contracts. We signed those guys to like long contract. I think like 6 years, $60 million for Desmond Trufant, and we did the same thing for Robert Alford. And both those guys were dang near $20 million a piece. So that was that was dang near about 20. So that's about 30 to 40 million in dead cap. And like I said, the salary cap for the NFL is about 240 million. When you got one player that's taking up dang near 40 million of it, that's gone. That's one player. You got 53 players on the roster, on the active roster. That's 52 other players
let,
that you have to find a way to fit them in the salary cap.
let, me, let me say this one quick. How does everybody feel about Russell Wilson as far as Denver? Y'all feel like he's underachieved like hell, right? After getting that big money.
No,
Like I said, I'm just using this as an example. Right here. I'm not saying that if it happens, it's going to happen to him too. But I'm just saying like this.
for what they paid him, he on the team. I'll say.
No, he underachieved like a mug. But what they. And I'm using this as because if he underachieved, you can't talk about, oh man, we need to cut him, we need to trade him. Do you know that Russell Wilson's dead cap number combined for the next 2 years is almost $200 million? His dead cap number next year is $107 million. They couldn't get rid of him if they wanted to.
They can't cut him.
They stuck. Let me ask the people this. This is my last thing. We gonna wind it down after this. Cause damn it, we been on almost 2 hours. Did you know Russell Wilson's dead cap hit for next year? Because we know Falcon fans ain't got no patience. His dead cap number goes down every year, but for the next 3 years, it's 107, 85, 49, 31.
Damn.
Would y'all ask? Look, Can you imagine if a Falcon quarterback was sitting here and you got these and he struggled his first couple years? I'm talking about free agent wise. And Falcon fans talking about we need to get rid of him and trade him, and then you look at that dead cap number and see $107 million. That ain't dead cap, but that boy, you can't get up from the dead from that one, boy. So the message here is, man, you gotta be patient with what this team is doing, man. Like I said, last year I wanted Jordan Davis. They got Drake London. Oh, boo-hoo. So what? Next year. Now you got a possibility to get a Jalen Carter. You got a possibility of getting a Javon Dexter, a Saki Ika, somebody like that. Then we right back to where we need to be. Some folks got some, we're just gonna wind it down. I'm flabbergasted. Let's go ahead and wind down. I need some calm down. Y'all, the last heavy hitter show, y'all get a whole goddamn rant from me. Not Mike, me. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and wind it down, man. Like I said, we appreciate everybody tuning in, man. At the end of the day, man, it's all about the conversation over here, and it's all about talking about our stuff. Where the music go? Hold on, nah, we gotta do this right. No, where that music go? There you go. Now, like we always say over here, we are not for everybody. Hey. So, if we're not your cup of tea, there's a such thing called an X button or an off button. But the thing about it is, we're going to have the conversation. But if you want to be, but like I said, the one thing that we ain't going to tolerate here is goofy shit. So, appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Like I said, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. Mad Mike Sports, Utah Sports, 6-Man K Styles. Tune in tomorrow, Atlanta Falcon Nation. They got the Dirty Bird Thursday, and tune in to the Rex pick tomorrow as well. So, until next time, people, we ain't here to play.
Oh no.
We here to stay.
Ooh, yeah, baby.
You ain't gotta go home.
But you gotta get the hell up out of here.
Hey, jersey one more time, Jew. Show that jersey one more time for the people. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby.
Deuces. Oh,
God bless.